Yep.
Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Kurosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
We're open.
And Dan Jang.
Bush, 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 bush.
And if you're not familiar with what we do, we come to each and every week to podcasting services of your choice, from Animal Crossing islands of our choice and quarantines of nobody's choice. We sit around, usually in tables, sometimes in video games, and we talk about nerdy stuff, comics, games, movies, kind of everything in between, pop culture, and we have fun. We try to have a good time. We hope you have a good time. If this is your first episode, welcome. This is episode 171. We hope you have a good time and stick around. If this is not your first forte with us, you know what to expect. The regular goofing around and fun that we try to keep going on the show. And just as a reminder, these because we're in quarantine, we've been streaming these through Animal Crossing and sometimes other games, and they're streamed. So if you want to check us out on Twitch, you can join and watch live usually when we record. I think we should start saying maybe ahead of time when the recording is going to be, but we try, see what it works. But it's usually recorded on Thursdays, so maybe I'll advertise that more ahead of time. So keep a lookout for that. With that, guys, what does your last week look like?
Was more World of Warcraft, surprisingly,
Let me call the monkey real quick.
So, Jane, just to let you know, Mark is back on it, and I've been helping him level, so he's catching up to me really fucking fast.
Wait,
Dude, he's level 30 already.
Were you the one that told me about Shaman, or I think he told me? He told me.
More likely him, yeah.
He's like, I tried the Shaman. He's like, okay, I realized why you quit World of Warcraft, because Shaman is fucking boring.
I don't think it is, dude. So he started his the warrior, and I wanted to level my priest, so I told him I'll level a different character with you. I was leveling the shaman, dude. Bro, I was using a two-handed weapon, and every time I hit, I enchanted it with flame. So I would double hit. I would hit once, and then the flame would hit him again. I was taking fools out in 2 seconds, and I was just running through shit super quick. I'm assuming that speed dies out though. At a low level, the skill's kind of weird, so you seem really strong, and then as you level up, you're just not doing anywhere near as much damage as you normally would. But I got to level 20.
You're leveling with them through Classic as well, right?
Yeah, through Classic. So, he out-leveled my priest already, so I've already given up on my priest now. My priest is level 29, and he's 33 when I left today in the morning to work, so he's probably 35 now. And then my hunter, who's my highest level, is 50, so I'm 10 levels away from the max level right now.
That's fun.
But it takes forever. And
yeah.
I just want to get it sucks because I should enjoy this journey, because once I'm at the max level, I'm just gonna be trying to do all the end game stuff. But I'm
gonna be man, I missed the journey. I'm gonna start a new character.
Shit.
And then get tired of that journey again.
And Blizzard's
that's usually how it is, you build an alt that, because when you run a raid with one character, you're locked for that raid. You can't do it until next week, essentially. And so you would level a second character just so you can do more raids, get more gear. And it just is what it is. It's an endless cycle. So eventually you have, the maxed out amount of characters, which is I think 10 or some shit. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But yes, I've been playing that. Been playing Animal Crossing, and so for the first time I saw a scorpion during this new month of the thing. And I haven't caught a tarantula in a long time, so I have a certain method, and it's worked for me 100% of the time. So I go to do the method confidently. I'm just I just run up to it, and I fucking do the net swing, and I miss. I literally not even I mistimed it. I guess my game must have thought I hit down, so then he turns around and he hits it at a different area, and the guy just whacks me, and I'm just well, there goes my scorpion, dude. I haven't seen one in a while, still.
Dude, the drop rates are crazy. I haven't seen one.
I just want one for my whatchamacallit, my museum. That's all I need, dude.
Hey, don't worry, dude. Scorpion King has 20 of them, dude.
Yeah, but I can't pick one up like that. You can't trade animals, dude.
You can't
But,
pick one up like that's placed.
I don't think so.
No,
Let
you
me check.
can't. You can't.
Damn.
That's a scorpion.
You can't. It doesn't let you.
Yeah.
When you
can't trade animals.
when
essentially.
you were able to duplicate items, you could. Now you can't.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh, that's right, huh? Holy shit! I forgot about that. Duplicating the tarantulas that people were selling. Anyways, been doing that. Still haven't touched Final Fantasy, and I think someone in our group might have touched it more than I have. And what else have I done? Been doing work. So work's been getting busier, and they've increased the hours of only 2 individuals, the processors, the people that like get the orders out in the warehouse so we can start shipping stuff again. They've given them 36 hours, which is such a strange thing. I don't know why they just don't give them the full 40 hours. And
I think
still
'cause-
hasn't increased anyone else's time.
Wait,
and
does that affect your benefits or no? Working like shorter hours.
I'm part-time and I still get full benefits. So
Okay.
Oh,
it's
that's
not
good.
affecting anything. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just a strange thing. I don't know why. Maybe they just want to be careful not to have overtime, like over 40 or something like that. But it's just a strange amount of time that they're giving these 2 individuals. But anyways, so it's been picking up like crazy, and I have like a lot of customers that just call me personally, and I come in later in the day, so they're like, "Damn, dude, what hours you working?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry, man. They cut my hours and they have me working at the end of the day for you, man. So I got to call you at 6 o'clock your time or 9 o'clock your time, essentially." And it's frustrating. Like I get to work and I have like 10 voicemails, all from customers going like, "Hey Daniel, just looking to place an order, give me a call back." And I'm just like, I got 4 hours to like call all these people and then work on the regular queue and undo all this stuff. And at this point, I kind of want to just quit, man. I want to like quit and tell them like, "Hey, I personal things in my life, I gotta take some time off or whatever, and then maybe get rehired or just go somewhere else or something." I don't know. But I don't know. I'm at that point where it's like the amount of hours I work, it feels useless, and I'd rather just not work at all right now. I guess I don't know. Like
Feeling a little wild.
Damn.
if only I had a morning shift. Like it just sucks to.
Have you asked?
I still wake up. No, I haven't asked, but I'm pretty sure So what I asked was, they have me and another person working a half shift in the same time slot. So I asked them like, "Hey, could we interchange, and one day one of us comes in for essentially a full day, and then the other person doesn't come in that day, so you're only paying one person that full day, and then the next day I won't come in, and then the other person comes in for a full day." And they said no to that one. And if they said no to that, that was a pretty easy one to do. And
That's okay. So change of plans. Don't ask. Tell them I'm working the morning shift. Wild Vargas is here.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I still wake up at 8. I don't want to be waking up like super late or anything like that. And so I'll get on World of Warcraft, and I can't do like a raid. Like it's not even that, but like it just feel I think in life I feel this way, like because I couldn't work, and I can't commit to doing something in the morning, because if it goes over the time, I gotta get ready, I gotta take a shower and then go to work, and so I give myself like an hour to get ready, so I have to stop everything I'm doing at 1 o'clock.
Well, you don't have to take a shower. You could be stinky.
I am a person that can't go out of my house unless I actually take a shower
Stinky.
that day.
You
It
want
gets worse.
stink-
Like I don't know. I have social anxiety, so if I don't take a shower, I start like sweating, thinking that people are noticing me and being smelly. So every morning. Well, when I worked in the morning, I would wake up in the morning and take a shower every morning. But now I just wake up and take a shower at like 1 o'clock now.
Wild Vargas wouldn't take a shower.
Oh, well, that version of Wild Vargas has never existed. He's always taking a shower. So. But yeah, so it feels very constrained in my day, because then once obviously I come back from work, I can do whatever I want, because I could stay up till 2 if I wanted to, but I don't stay up that late because I don't want to I want to just have my sleep schedule still, so it doesn't mess up or anything. So I don't know. I feel very constrained, and it's becoming frustrating. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Wildvirus comes out and
Wildvirus?
Shit.
we'll see what happens. But that's me.
Okay. Jang, what have you been up to?
I didn't stream at all Monday and Tuesday, only because I was working on a video. So there's like a job posting for like a streamer / host, and
okay.
I actually submitted for it. I actually told one of the Game Overcast. I don't know if he's watching, but I was like, dude, there's 2 job openings for a host, and then there's one for a streamer, co-host. I told him, yeah, you should do the hosting, dude, because they're looking for a comedian, which he does, and they're looking for, someone who has hosting experience, and he hosts a monthly like comedy show. And so I was like, you know what? Let me apply for the streamer, and I just gave him my Twitch the channel trailer, and she liked it, and so I had to make another a video, and then I had to make another video after that. So
Nice.
I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I was like, damn, I hate my job. Fuck. So, dude, they were like working me like crazy.
Welcome to the club, dude.
They're working me like crazy. Like this week.
You're still working full time?
Yeah, I think everyone has been working full time.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, dude, it's crazy, dude. Like this week, like so I got my drone on Monday, and I was only able to fly it one day after work. But dude,
you posted something in regards to the drone as well, like a license, didn't you?
Yeah. So you had to register it because it's over the weight limit, but it's not.
Right.
It's not that crazy. You just pay $5, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
And it's like a 3-year like registration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but
now they can if they find that drone in unwanted areas, they can bring it back to you, right? And be like,
well,
you're the owner.
It's more like if they catch you, someone stops you, you gotta show your it's like a fishing license. So you just gotta show.
Oh, okay.
So, dude, that drone is fucking miles way better than the other one I have.
The small
Dude,
one,
it's fucking smooth. I was like, this
is it the Mavic or is it the regular or which one is it?
So it's called the Air 2, Mavic Air 2. And
shit! I didn't know they made a second version.
yeah, dude, it just came out this month, and
okay.
It's fucking nice, dude. Like,
cool.
like the way it controls is insane. And this week, I can't wait for this weekend. This weekend, I think I'm gonna make a review video or just not a review, impressions video for that drone. But
Okay.
I also been consuming media. I've been reading and watching 2 things that deal with time travel.
I think I know what the
The
watching is.
The first one is a book called Slaughterhouse-5.
Oh,
And,
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's about a dude that gets caught by aliens, and he just starts jumping through time and different
To
points of
escape?
his like jumping through time, different points of his life, like Dr. Manhattan, kind of.
Like, what's his name? Desmond from Lost.
Yeah.
But is this because of the aliens? Like he got caught?
I don't see. They haven't explained that yet. They just
So,
It's a good
if
book.
just so far, what you know is he got caught by aliens and now he's time jumping.
yeah, well, he was time jumping before the aliens.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
they haven't explained. I'm pretty sure it's from the aliens. They haven't explained why he's time jumping.
Okay, gotcha.
But speaking
What
of
is this one called?
Slaughterhouse-5,
Okay, interesting.
dude,
Kurt Vonnegut.
yeah, dude, the first chapter is about the making of the book, and dude,
Yeah.
reading the making of the book was way more interesting than the book, dude. I was like, this is so cool, dude, because like he wanted to write a book about anti-war, but because he went through, he was a prisoner of war and stuff.
Oh, shit.
So when he was like telling his friend's wife about the book, she's like, don't you dare make this book because you're gonna glorify war. He's like, no, dude, like I'm making an anti-war book. And so it's called like Slaughterhouse-5 The Children's Crusade or something like that.
Oh, shit.
So, and speaking of Dr. Manhattan, I only have one more episode left of Watchmen.
Nice.
I saw the
So I think you have enough to give it a good review. What do you think?
it's cool. It
Okay.
didn't grasp me. Like, I think it's a good show, but like watching it, I didn't.
What do you think of that twist that you kept trying to figure out yourself?
Oh, Ozymandias? Or was-
The Manhattan one.
well, I didn't
Because
even
you
know.
kept saying that
Oh,
he was.
oh.
Because you kept saying.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So I narrowed it down to two people. It was that person or the other person in a wheelchair, and so it wasn't like too crazy. Like when they revealed it, I was like, yeah, it could have been one of those two people. But I thought the episode was good. The Doctor Manhattan one, like
Yeah, the one that reminds me of the Constant.
yeah.
This episode is still going to be a trip, by the way. Just letting you know.
Oh, the last one.
This last one, yeah.
I have a feeling. So I was wrong about Ozymandias. He's not on Mars, and he wasn't imprisoned there. He voluntarily went there. I think he saved.
Well, he was on Mars though, wasn't he?
No, he's on
he wasn't.
Europa.
Yeah.
But it because when he escapes that area, it puts him into Mars, right? So I figured it was like okay, then
But-
never mind. Or not Mars. Sorry, I meant the moon. But yeah, okay.
I think he saves the day, like at the end of the show. Ozymandias does.
Okay.
But I don't know how he gets the fuck out of there, dude. Dude, that kind of
The last episode's pretty good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
it's really
I think the thing I have a problem with is I don't think Ozymandias would have made a video for the president stating what he did. And yeah, that's like one.
Okay.
I don't think he would have done that, but it's still a good show. Yeah.
What did you think of the episode where they did the history of the masked? guy?
That was good. That was a bigger twist for me than who Dr. Manhattan was. That was cool. That was really good, I think.
I've loved, to me, one of my favorite parts of that episode was how naturally it felt the need for a mask. Like when after he's like beaten up and he's like going through an alley or whatever, he's like, I can't help this guy unless I put this mask. He just puts a bag on his head, and I was like, oh my god. Like
Yeah.
it makes like in the moment it's not like, oh, I need, like every time you hear in a comic book you're like, I need to protect my family, my identity. He's like, no, I just need, because they're gonna think a certain thing because of my
Yeah.
race
Yeah.
and everything. I was like, damn, that's like just so fluid. Like
I think, dude, the dude that plays Manhattan, so good because like the way he talks is different as Dr.
Yeah.
Manhattan, and then when he talks as his human
Do you remember
form.
what else he's in terms of TV?
Wait, what?
Other shows he's in?
What other media you might have seen him in?
I have no idea.
Did you watch the latest season of Black Mirror?
No,
I
I
have
I
not.
didn't. No,
Did you watch? So you didn't watch that Street Fighter episode?
no,
I
no,
did
no,
not.
no. I know what
He's
happens.
He's one of the two guys. in
Oh,
and he's the more interesting. Like, I think he has more range in that episode than the Falcon guy, Anthony Mackie. He plays more of like a mellowed guy, but like he's like, dude, I tried like going into this game and like I played, like my character did stuff with NPC characters. There's a bear character. Have you ever done anything with a bear? I was like, you're Dr. Manhattan.
shit.
I'm curious what you think then of the full product, but I'm glad you're watching it.
I don't know. I kind of want to watch a show, but not every day. I don't know what to watch next. I'm thinking about Sopranos because I never finished it. And Jason Schreier, understood my reference. So.
Hey, but you,
dude, they should make
you know the ending already.
They should make a Uncle Junior sushi spot or something like that. A pop up.
That'd be cool, like an experience or something.
Hey, rest in peace, birthday cake sting. Okay.
Seriously, like honestly, I'm like, what's gonna stay the same after all this? That's just, maybe a topic. What's it called? Wait, if you were to rewatch Sopranos, would you start from the beginning or go from wherever you left off?
I'll watch from the beginning, dude. Have you seen it?
No.
There's a really cool episode. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's about an uncorruptible cop, and it's so fucking good, dude. Like, and it's an episode I think a lot of people don't like. They overlook it.
Okay.
But like Tony Soprano learns a fucking lesson. Like he actually fucking learns something about
You
people.
can't pay someone off.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. So
Okay,
good.
I have a question then from what you've seen of the show. Tony Soprano is like the one of the main protagonists of the show,
Yes.
right? Is he at the start of the show? Does he start fairly well-regarded position of power
Yes.
within his social circle? Okay.
He's a lieutenant in the mafia.
Okay.
But so I mean, this is not a big spoiler. The basic gist of it is the head mafia guy gets caught, and so like, all the lieutenants want to be the head guy, and Tony Soprano feels burned because he doesn't get it. And
Okay.
so that's how it starts off, and it's
Okay.
pretty good.
I might-
It's
I've been-
more
I've been
about.
needing a
It's
show.
more about. It's not about the mafia. It's more about.
It's about family.
It's about mental health issues, dude. Like he has a breakdown,
shit.
and he's seeing a shrink, and that's looked down upon in the mafia. Like you don't
Yeah.
see a shrink, like. So yeah,
Shows weakness. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Cool. So you're not done with Slaughterhouse, right? You're still working on. Okay.
I'm almost done. I'm almost.
So there's no Solar House 4, 3, 2, or 1, right?
No.
No,
Okay, just making sure. Just don't want to
Wait.
jump in the middle of it.
you.
I saw
So
some like that where it was like, do I need to play Unreal Engine 1 through 4 before I?
wait, have you read Slaughterhouse?
Yeah,
I haven't. No.
Okay.
I have.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it was good. It took me a little bit to get like into it, like calibrated to it, but once I got into it, I enjoyed it.
It's weird, like, cause he
Yeah.
jumps from time. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Where is he right now? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
written very
I was
weird.
very disoriented. Yeah.
And I think
I had the
Dexter,
same. I had
I'm
the same thing with Catch 22.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember at the beginning of it, I'm like, I don't quite get it, and then like, I don't know, a third into it, it was like, I think I'm starting to understand this, and then I was like, I can't put this down.
I heard it's
I think
funny.
it's very tough.
Oh,
for-
it's so funny.
for timelines like that to work on a book or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes they do it so subtly, like they just expect you to kind of pick it up, and it's nice that in that way because it's like it's challenging you, but at the same time you're like, I got to I gotta get my calibrations.
Yeah.
You can't like read it like lightly, like just be like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. So for me, they did Money in the Bank pay-per-view for wrestling, which was
The roof.
I think since since WrestleMania, it's like the next pay-per-view to be like no audience, like pre-recorded. But I mean, they still do matches where they just kind of let them flow naturally. But the main the Money in the Bank in its like the name of the pay-per-view gets its name from a type of match. The type of match is there's a briefcase that hangs above the ring, and usually it's like 6 to 8 competitors will fight in the match to get that briefcase, and they can use ladders. It's kind of like a no holds barred. They can do whatever they want. Just whoever gets the briefcase wins. And what the briefcase is it's a contract for the winner to be able to cash in at any time of their choosing within a year for a title opportunity. So like the champion could have just been like annihilated, fallen off a cage, can barely get up, and this guy could come strutting down the ring with the briefcase, be like, all right, cashing in, just stands on the guy and pins him, and that's what that briefcase has the power of doing. And it's pretty interesting because it adds a sense of like excitement of like, okay, when could this happen? Sometimes it happens like the same night as the title changing. Sometimes it happens like literally like a year later at WrestleMania, like at the stage. So it could happen anytime. They did with this pre-recorded thing was there's a men's one and there's a women's one, and they were like, it's in a stadium of our choosing, we're gonna have this at someplace we have. So they pick their WWE headquarters, like their office building, and they're like, the ring is gonna be on the rooftop, and you're not gonna start in the ring. All the wrestlers are gonna be on the ground floor, and you're gonna wrestle or race your way up to the ring to get to the briefcase. It was so weird. And the last part of it was they had the men's and the women's at the same time, and they were both ring. So it was weird. They started the men in like a gym inside the building. They started the women in like the lobby with the elevators, and it felt like Rat Race in a lot of ways of the movie. They were just like running. There was a lot of comedy, slapstick stuff.
Cigarette lighter in someone's mouth.
Yeah, it was just stupid shit. Like one guy got pinned down under a dumbbell bar, and like they just left him there. It's like, hey, someone help me! And they would have all these goofy cameos. Like randomly, they ran into Doink the Clown because he just roams the building.
Oh wow, the original dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then they like there was a funny scene where like two of the wrestlers wrestle into an office and they find out it's Vince McMahon's. It's his office, and he's like, "Hey, get out of here!" And
Animal
like,
Crossing.
Yeah, it's just different, all this stuff. And then at the end, they're on the roof, and like the men and the women are doing their own. They kind of kept it separate, but there was like one point where they got into it with each other. They would all fight. And then when they got to this roof, there's this one guy who's like a total bad guy, and he's like, there's a lot of memes of him because he's done stuff where he's knocked people off like podiums, and they've turned it into like the Lion King. And a couple other things. And so he takes Rey Mysterio, who's one of the smallest like luchador wrestlers, and he doesn't throw him over the ring. He throws him over the edge of the roof. And it's done so like casually that you're like, did he just kill a man? Like within the context of this. So they're just like continuing. And then later, like people on the internet have been like making memes of it all over the place. It's hilarious. But like he was like, I didn't know. Like, they made it sound like, oh, he by the grace of God he landed 6 feet below on a second platform. But like they made it so like his character was like, I'm glad he's okay now. He's like, did you know that was there? I was like, doesn't matter. He's just owning up to the whole like being a bad guy thing. And then the next night, Becky Lynch, who's been the women's champion for like over a year, she announced that she's letting go. That the briefcase for the women's wasn't for a chance to fight her. It's for the actual title because she has to relinquish it because she's pregnant now. And what's funny, that was a happy moment, and it was very genuine because she didn't tell the other person. Like the other person didn't know until genuinely in the ring with her, where she gave her the title, and she was like, "What? Oh my god!" And she was like, they were all like excited and everything. But
imagine if she just started hitting her, and it's like, wait, I'm pregnant. That would have been
her husband is another wrestler, Seth Rollins, and they showed him later that night, and he just looked like, you know how there's like sometimes in movies and shows where the husbands are like, they don't know, they're so stressed out, their hair's like, they're like, I'm a father. Like he had that look the entire night. Like he wasn't responding. Like he was in a tag match. He wasn't responding to anything.
He didn't know either?
No. That part was a joke.
Oh, okay.
That part was like, but it was just funny how they were playing it up. Like he's just like, is he angry? Is he? And he was just like, his hair was just a mess.
He's in disbelief, dude.
And he's like playing this character where he's like a messiah, and he's like this like, he believes himself to be the chosen one to lead the flock and everything. Anyway, it was just funny, that whole exchange. So it was some fun wrestling. For Animal Crossing, nothing big, just my flowers. I've been tending to them. I got some black roses now, which I'm like trying to get a gold rose maybe. God, dude, have you guys had Shooting Stars yet?
I haven't in a while.
You know, I haven't had any. Well, I don't pay attention. So
yeah, I haven't checked.
I had some, but
I haven't checked either. But usually it's when Celeste is there, right?
Right. So have you seen Celeste?
No.
No, but I've had Shooting Stars when she's not there. Like it's just a random day, and I'll hear it, and I'll be like, oh fuck, and then I don't catch it, and I'll be like, you know what, I'll just do my other things.
My fuck up is I fucking let Anka go. I can't fucking believe it. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I can't believe. I didn't realize that. Okay, so I thought if you have a full island and someone visits the camp, you can't switch people. And then I read up later that if you like talk to them enough, or if you play a game with them and win, you could trade them with someone else that lives with you. But it kind of gets randomized who they pick.
Oh, okay.
And so people will sometimes like soft reset and try to do it again.
I didn't know that. There's a person I talked to like a million times. I mean, just like to see what they kept saying.
Yeah.
And we played like 4 games, dude. I won like 2, which they gave me like 2 different items for each one. And then I kept talking, and they just like, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, I kept losing the games, and I was like, all right, I'm over this. But yeah, I didn't know that. So I had a spot open up that I wanted to open up, and I used like I'd been saving 80 Nook miles saved,
Oh, shit.
Wow.
and I was like, I'm going to some islands.
I'm going
So
to town.
I went through like 10 or 12 islands,
And you got Raymond.
and I got Apollo,
Oh, okay.
the bald eagle.
Yeah,
and I have
yeah,
a
yeah.
I have a girl bald eagle, and I was like, all right, you guys are gonna be friends.
That's funny. I have two. I have
You
a
hear-
male and a female bald eagle, but
you
they
hear
were naturally
clapping?
just
At Apollo's
filled
house.
up my town.
It's like, what's going on?
I'm like, oh, they're just subbing to last bosses. So that's all with Animal Crossing this week for me. And then, oh, and I've reached my storage capacity, so that's why there's a bunch of shit everywhere.
Do you know what the number is for the storage capacity?
1600.
Dang,
It's literally all clothes. I have like, I'll get like a cool like a robe or something,
Yeah.
and I'll need to get every color of it.
They should have they should have made it to where you could put stuff like a separate storage for clothing
Yes.
in closets, dude.
Yes.
Like, give me like 100 slots per closet. I'll fucking have a room full of closets, dude. Just do me that favor.
Just
you know?
along the walls or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's driving me nuts. So I'm trying to like make things and put stuff. I've been this stuff isn't decorated, but I've been like putting stuff around the island, moving some stuff. So, there was 3 more things. Sorry, Pathfinders. We do our like weekly sessions, and we're in this like we're about to enter this big old like it's sort of like a raid for us. Like we're entering like a goblin den or something. And we're not even in it yet, but we're already starting shit. And this one guy in our team has the worst luck. He was standing somewhere where he sprung a trap. A bunch of spiders swarmed him, and he's like a talking tree. And so they're like trying to bite him and fuck him up and stuff. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna move out of the swarm. And the guy's like, oh, what'd you roll? He's like this. He's like, you fell into an 80-foot hole that leads to an underwater cavern, and there's a giant bear shark. That
Bear
is
shark.
very upset right now, and I'm like, of course he did that.
It's just comedic things where like something happens and it causes them to trip and fall into
It's
something else that gets worse.
Yeah, it literally happened back to back. I'm like, of course, and like the week before he had he was stuck in a bear trap for like 4 turns because of shitty rolls. I was like, of course. And then we were on the other side of our stuff while we're dealing with this swarm of spiders and this other shit. I see 8 goblins about to like flank us, and I run back and tell the group. And so one of my buddies like, I got this, and he's got like this grenade spear where if he taps it and it can detonate on impact and do like an AOE.
Oh shit.
And he uses it, and success, it like hits all of them, but I'm like caught on the edge of the blast radius,
Yeah.
and it knocks me into negative hit points, so I'm like unconscious. I'm like, thanks dude, like I warn all of us, and you gotta kill me.
Yeah, that's what you do me.
So that was that, and then I got the new gadget. I got the Google Pixel Buds.
Ooh, so you
Oh,
can
yeah,
hear
yeah.
people talk shit on you in different
Yeah.
languages.
They're the AirPod equivalents for the Google
For
ones.
Google, yeah.
They translate, right?
I think they do. They have the Google Assistant thing. I know the original ones, they were hyping them up to be able to translate, but I don't know how they work.
I don't
how
think it
that
can translate on the fly like the way they show it. But
Yeah, maybe it's like a slow process.
Yeah.
But like I can just tap it and be like, "Hey, what's this? Like when's Jank's stream?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's later tonight." But I've just been using them, and like how quickly they connect is really convenient. Like I'll just pop one out and put it in my ear, and it's already like there's no delay, which I'm so used to like wireless things having like a slight delay before they connect. And,
Yeah.
um,
And can I use that with any Android phone or only the Google?
I'm using it with my Galaxy Note, so it's working
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Yeah, it works with any. I believe it works with anything with Bluetooth. So I haven't tried it with computer.
They're not jerks like Apple and only Apple.
Yeah, I guess I guess they're not. So that's good. And then the last thing was, after I heard that we might be like, in some states they're extending the stay at home for like possibly 3 more months.
Yeah.
I started working on my mixer and my mics and stuff in my webcam.
Mm.
And I did I did a test
Streamer?
run yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stream it. I recorded
Okay.
myself playing Valorant, and it wasn't too bad. Like
Nice.
everything went, it went pretty smooth. I was just checking like stuttering audio. I had some audio issues and some webcam like layout
Gotcha.
stuff
And you're not wired, right? Like you have a wireless connection on your computer?
for my internet. Yes.
Okay.
That
I
could be a
recommend
problem with
Anchor.
streaming, but
Yeah.
I just for the recording side, I might do that maybe,
Okay.
and then post it later with funny stuff. But
Oh, so
I just
like
Mm.
YouTube essentially.
maybe, yeah, I'm just playing around with it. But I did want to try to do something. I'm like, I'm playing anyway, so I might do something.
Mm.
But I did do it while I was playing Valorant. and
Welcome
I got
back, dude.
Cold
Hey, just
Marmalade's here.
Just make tutorials, dude. Trust me. It'll get you views.
Tips and tricks. All the best angles.
This is how you get shot.
See, kids,
every
you don't do this. Don't do me.
If you want to win, watch me and do nothing that I do.
Do none of the things I'm about to do. So that was that. So anyway, that kind of went a little long. You guys want to get into the topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
Take it away, Jane.
Okay.
So, wait, hold up. There's like a helicopter. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
No, it's clear.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I didn't. No. Speaking of helicopters, sorry. There was a helicopter above our apartment the other day, and they were literally like, "Everyone, please go stay inside your homes. There's someone dangerous and armed in your area."
wow. In Irvine.
And they just kept repeating it, and I was like in the toilet. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Is it me? Is it because I'm in the toilet?
I just got up and like, I was trying to tell Kate, I'm like, "Where is she?" And she was out walking. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then she had just like she was on her way back, thankfully. So,
Oh, okay.
she just got inside. But then what was crazy was we heard it. They were very audible and clear about like staying inside until they resolve this and
Yeah.
find the person. They never told us to when it was okay again.
Oh wow.
I was like, what?
Stay inside, and then like 10
Lock-
days later,
Lockdown forever.
I was like, this fucking quarantine cooked it up a notch.
log 24. Still don't know if I need to leave.
Yeah. So I called like apartment complex there, and they're like, we're the night shift. We don't know what happened during the day. Like, okay, thanks. And
So
then I
obviously
called,
it's over.
so then I called the police, and then they were pretty helpful. They were like, yeah, whatever it was, we were helping out with some stuff, and they were like, it's been resolved. I was like,
So
okay.
you don't know if it was a guy with like a deadly weapon, or if it
I
was
think
a
it was-
dude that had coronavirus.
I mean, they said
cropping up
he was
there?
armed.
I think
Okay.
it was Wild Vargas.
I was armed with coronavirus.
He's like, I want the morning shift, damn it.
Shit.
Man, I can't believe they're reopening some stuff, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to step away from your thing. You
But helicopter.
said
Okay,
the helicopter,
so-
I totally forgot. So go ahead.
Today they did a PlayStation State of Play, and it was focused entirely on Ghosts of Tsushima.
Of sushi.
So
Got it.
what are your thoughts on what they showcased today?
So I funny enough, I only watched the video that did like a small recap on it. So I saw things that happened, but I didn't get a full view of like the nice scenery and stuff like that. But from what they showed, I mean, like I love when games do this. Like they make like finding areas like be part of the environment. So like they showed like when you select a waypoint, the wind helps you go in that direction, kind of thing, rather than just saying like. Here's a
Oh,
big
you mean
yellow
like
arrow.
instead of like a compass or like a
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
guideline.
The
Okay.
wind is like it's like a natural thing, and apparently like the wind is something like because I saw it showed that like the guy can get like a charm and cause the wind to be poisonous around him or something like that. So obviously like the wind plays a big role, but I thought that was really cool, just being like a natural waypoint like that or making it like that.
Okay.
That's what I noticed.
For me, like going into it, I was like okay, Sucker Punch has become like a second party Sony developer, right?
Pretty much.
Like when they were doing Spider-Man, I think they were one of the when they became that right around when that game came out, right?
Yeah.
Or no, that was Insomniac.
They did Infamous.
They did Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous.
but they were
Okay, never mind.
third
Sorry,
party with that
I'm
one,
mixing up
weren't they?
the Sucker Punch and Insomniac. I think so. They're first. They're close
Sly,
buddies.
Sly
with,
Cooper.
Yeah. And so my point being, I feel like there's a PlayStation style with all their like first and second party games,
And this hits it on the head.
and it's all third person, like over the shoulder narrative stories. Like you take Death Stranding, you take this, you take Uncharted, you take Last of Us. I feel like they and you take Infamous. I don't know, like any game I can think of that's like a narrative story that's like
Last of Us, fucking.
yeah, all the ones that like Sony has their name on. That's like their big cinematic games is
Yeah.
that style, and I feel like this is that. And like I knew originally when we first heard about this game, we were all like, oh, this is just going to be like a Sekiro knockoff. Or like riding off the coast. But the more they showed of it, the more I got the sense that they're like slower and more. I don't want to say thoughtful because I feel like Sekiro is very thoughtful.
Yeah.
In a different way, but I feel like it's more like you want to know, like the story is the front and center part of it, not so much the gameplay mechanics of like the timing of a fight. Like it plays a part, it plays a role in it, but it's to further the narrative of this character and like the dualities they're showing.
Yeah.
Because they showed like samurai where like during the day you're gonna be fighting, you fight a certain way, and when it's nighttime and you're in the ghost kind of play style, it's a very different kind of play style.
I think it's not a day-night thing. I think they're just two different play styles. You can play like
okay.
attack guy or a stealth guy.
Okay, I think maybe then I was just kind of misunderstanding because in the demo they were showing it during the day. I just associated, but that makes sense. Like maybe depending on what's going on in the story, you'll be doing one thing or the other, or it's by choice.
Possibly. That's what I got from the quick video too that I saw.
I don't know. When I
quick-
saw it,
Yeah.
it looked like a watered down version of Breath of the Wild. That's what I saw. I didn't compare it to Sekiro. I was like, this is like Breath of the Wild, but probably very not as like in depth.
I would say if we are gonna see a Breath of the Wild type game with like these type of graphics, we're gonna have to wait for the PS5 at this point.
I mean, we think we saw it with Death Stranding.
Really?
Like, I mean, to some degree, wasn't it? It was just like
I guess the scale, you're right, but I guess I'm talking about like the creativity that like Breath of the Wild had, like the way you have. I mean, I haven't gotten to the point where you even use guns in the game, so I don't know. I guess can't really.
I don't
say.
know. I thought the full freedom
Yeah.
aspect of it, like just running anywhere, doing whatever. But maybe I'm missing some stuff. When I saw it, I wasn't thinking of Sekiro either. I was thinking of like Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot, like with how that plays, and like I said, like that PlayStation style of like you pretty much all like most of their games now have bows and arrows. So like there's always a bow and arrow mechanic.
But I was comparing the combat to Sekiro. I was like, dude, Sekiro feels like a real fight. Like this I mean it's a bit easier and it doesn't feel like a real fight. Like 'cause Sekiro, dude, like one person can fuck you up like a real fight. And this one, like, dude, this guy was just taking 5 people on, 6 people.
I mean, this is just the video. We haven't seen a specific, because there are characters in Sekiro where you can just take them on really quickly. You know, you just run up to them and you're just like, you shank them and then you move on to the next guy and you do the same thing. But then there's like those harder characters, so we haven't seen that. I think so. It could still be there. I think
they showcased it like a boss fight, like a mini boss fight. So it looked serious. I was like, oh shit.
Gotcha.
I get your comparison to the real fight with Sekiro, how like one punch can just change it. But like some of the stuff with Sekiro are like, this guy's got a lightning bolt coming out of an arrow, and then he's jumping on the some of the other aspects are fantastical. Where I feel like in those same aspects, this is more.
Grounded.
I don't know, like a Seven Samurai, like those old, and that's what I was gonna say was. They talk about the photo modes.
Yeah.
But they also talk about the video filters. You can just play the game with like subtitles in black and white. And I'm like,
that shit looked cool, yeah.
that was like my favorite part.
And it would like zoom into the guy's sword handle. Like I was like, this is fucking cool, dude. No, what sold me was playing in stealth mode. When they're showcasing the samurai mode, I was like, I don't care. And then they showed you could play as a ghost. I was like, oh wait, nipples, doing. And
is this Metal Gear?
So I don't know, man. I think Metacritic wise, I think it's gonna get an 80 to 85. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I don't know.
I think it'll definitely hit 80s. I think if it maybe something we haven't seen, like maybe mid game, late game, does some cool stuff. It'll be high 80s. But I think it looks good. Like I'm very curious, like, story it'll have, because it makes me care, and like I felt like Horizon Zero Dawn made you care. Like it had a very iconic characters that like you're like, oh, I want to see more about these people. I want to see more what happens with Aloy and like all these people around her and the world around her and stuff.
Yeah.
If they can get me with that, then I think it'll definitely be on the higher end of those ratings.
I know that, like, you know, you guys have been saying like, it's different from Sekiro, but it's in style it seems similar. Like if you just look at it in a picture wise, you would say like, you know, one is close to the other one. Gameplay wise and story wise, it's gonna be completely different. But I think people are kind of over seeing just like either like the samurai or this like kind of Dark Souls look / feel. I don't know if this game's gonna do so well, if I'm honest with you guys. Like, I'm not interested. I'm not really that interested in getting that. Like right now, what's gonna take up my time when it comes out is gonna be
It's
probably
like July.
Yeah, July 17. Yeah.
July
But
7th.
all I'm saying is we heard this with Final Fantasy VII, but Wild Vargas is gonna beg to differ.
Isn't gonna play.
I mean, I
So,
picked
like,
up Final Fantasy VII, but I didn't finish it. Yeah.
Going into this game, I was also making comparisons to Sekiro, where I was like, this is gonna be like that. But the more they showed, was when I was starting to like think differently. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna like maybe advertise it more. I haven't seen a lot of heavy advertisement for it, like some other games.
The
So,
combat seems tanky. Well, at least for the samurai, it doesn't feel fluid. Like Sekiro, just it feels fluid. Like
yeah, I wonder how like they didn't really go into much more in the mechanics of it, but I wonder if there's like RPG elements where you're like, oh, pick these abilities and as you're playing, level them up.
I don't know.
But
I think if
think
anything,
that- yeah.
the combat's something I would like, because I've seen like all these different samurai movies, and the you're not mobile. Like you're not, you know, like a knight assassin when you're a samurai. You've got all this heavy. It looks like lightweight armor, but it's technically heavy armor to stop, like, you
It's
know,
restrictive.
a slide. Yeah, it's restrictive. So I think if they get that nailed down, like I've seen, I think it was called 12 Samurai.
Oh yeah. 13.
Yeah, 13 Samurai. Dude, like there's a point where like it's just a huge battle, and like these guys can kill like 3 or 4 guys, and then they're extremely tired already. And there's like, you see like, you know, 50 bodies laying on the ground. Like these guys can't move anymore. And so I don't think the fight should be the way Sekiro shows it. Like Sekiro is just completely whole different level. And what's cool is you can change that style at night, or I don't know if it's going to be at night, but there's a second style that you can do that one seems still not that mobile, but you can,
dude,
don't have to worry about guys
you're
coming at
basically
you.
Batman, dude. The
Yeah,
dude
it
was
was very-
fucking
it was very
Batman,
Batman-like.
dude. He was using
Okay. 'Cause
gadgets
I
and
saw
tricks.
the double takedown. You know, I saw that.
Oh.
He was using gadgets, tricks, ninjutsu. I was like, this is
Yeah.
Batman, dude. Like,
Just no detective mode.
yeah.
Shit.
One thing I forgot is when even we're saying those are the two styles, even within those, like the samurai and the ghost play changes, he has different stances, sort of like Neo, where there was like a stone, a water, and I think a third one. I think that'll also play a factor into like the flow of combat and how you approach a fight. Maybe it'll do a little bit of piggybacking off of like some things Neo has shown us.
I think
Like,
it's gonna sell well just because it's like quarantine and people want a game to play.
yeah,
I think it's gonna do numbers. Like,
and it's got that PlayStation branding. So.
yeah. I mean, Days Gone, shit, and that was not quarantine. with
Did that
bad,
do
but
well?
with bad review, dude, it sold more than Death Stranding.
Wow.
It did extremely well for them.
Okay. Yeah, that one I
with
feel
bad
like came
with
and
bad
went.
reviews too. It's crazy.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I've definitely like the biggest thing for me was the whole cinematic feel too that you could
Yeah.
add to it. Like that was the selling point for me.
I've never used stuff like that, like the cinematic mode. So obviously, we have I did Last of Us have a photo mode like that?
Well,
The remastered did.
Okay.
like to be able to like not so much freeze the game and then look at it, but like
Yeah.
to play in a way. Like I've seen people play.
I mean, if you can do,
Like they played Sekiro with subtitles and.
if they can make
Yeah.
a cinematic mode where you can make like Sun High Legend scenes, dude, game over.
I think he's gonna come out with some real good fucking video. I know for sure he's getting this fucking game to them.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, depending on the thing, I'm not gonna pre-order it, but yeah, obviously depending on how the release is, how the hype is, because I tend to watch streamers, and the reason I even got Final Fantasy VII is because I was watching one specific streamer, and he was super enjoying it. I'm like, dude, this looks so good. I
Yeah,
said I wasn't gonna get it, but you know, if it's this good, I have to get it. So I ended up buying it.
that's true. I forgot to mention I beat Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh,
That's right. After I brought it up to
God damn it.
one
Yeah.
dress, one dress,
One dress. Like a pleb.
the one dress,
Sorry.
one dress run,
Yeah, dude.
one dress run.
Only one challenge done in the what was it in the arena?
Okay, wait. So this is kind of like diverting. Final Fantasy
Yeah,
VII, right?
I mean, I didn't. Did you guys have any
Oh.
more thoughts on Ghosts of Tsushima?
No,
Because I thought we were wrapping up on that one.
Well, Jang is
I'm
going
going to talk about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
I want
here's-
to talk about it. Okay.
How many parts do you think it's going to be? That's my first part of the question. And are you going to buy the regular parts on full price?
Fuck, dude.
Okay, so I clocked in 45 hours on normal playthrough
Mm-hmm.
on this.
And there's
Yeah.
still the second playthrough just to get.
I'm not doing a fucking second playthrough.
I think what
Like,
I think the second. I think it requires like over 100 hours. No.
No. So
See, maybe?
there's a secret boss fight that you can only get to if you beat it on hard mode, which you
Okay.
can unlock after first playthrough.
Right.
They're
I
called
thought-
super bosses. Every Final Fantasy has a super boss.
Okay. I don't know. Like I saw the name of the boss, and I don't know it.
Okay.
I don't know if I say it. Do you guys care?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Pride and Joy.
Okay, I don't know
Oh,
who that
shit.
is.
I don't.
No,
yeah.
I think it is a reference to the original, but I don't remember exactly what that one is.
So like the last, I was like stuck on the same part as Vargas in chapter 14.
Yeah.
After like from 15 on, it started ramping up in the boss fights. Like boom, like there was less like padding, and that's when it started to pick up for me, where it was just like boss fight, get to the next area, fight, cinematic, and it was a little bit more engaging. But it started to be like, okay, are we at the end yet or not? Like, because like one chapter was like 8 boss
Oh,
boss
fuck.
fight. And I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, I just want I was like, I just want to do a chapter a night. And I was on
Yeah.
this chapter. It was like one of the last 2 chapters. I was like, I gotta finish this tomorrow because I'm just like, it's 1 a.m. I'm tired. But it was fun, and like I was prepped. Like the RPG elements were like I'm changing my materia loadouts
Yeah.
per fight because you won't have the same 3 people or whatever
Exactly.
in a given area, and I was like, okay, I like this. I'm enjoying it. The combat, it's like it just kept me back in the combat, which is good. The thing that like just keeps like distracting me now isn't so much the padding, but it was how confusing it was. Like I told you guys about that cat with the cape.
Right. Yeah.
That that's the only time that cat shows up in the game. So I guess if you know the series, you know that cat because I talked to one
Yeah.
of my friends and he's like, yeah, it's a character later on. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to?
Maybe just that scene is just an homage to like what the
There are more scenes like that.
Oh,
with
that's funny.
other things and people, and I'm like, you're acting like I'm supposed to know.
Yeah, it's more
Do
like
not know.
Dude, they went full into this game thinking like whoever
more
plays
like,
this
you know-
has already played the original.
it's like watching Watchmen. There's always like these like nods to things, and you won't know unless you read the original Watchmen. Like,
Right, but like I think also, I don't think Watchmen spends as much time on those nods as this game did on a lot of those moments.
there's
Like,
there's a lot of things in the background though. Like you're like, oh shit,
Okay, the background is fine. I'm
But this
talking
is like
like
a
there's a
foreground.
full
Yeah.
like dialogue between 3 characters I've never met and it spends like 10 minutes on this cutscene, and I'm like, what did I get out of that? I don't know what that's adding. You just further confused me. Meanwhile,
So now,
let's
you
go
gotta
back-
watch you gotta play the original and then go back to the new one.
I mean, I want to look up stuff. Like, I want to read stuff about it. I don't know if I want to play the original, but
Cat Sith
You-
is
wait. Ooh.
is that bad?
I don't know. I feel like diehard fans
Do you
would be like,
Oh, okay. So would you recommend now that I've played this, I should play like a version of the original?
I don't. If you want to look it up, dude, like I'm short on time myself.
I don't know.
Dude. I'm not
I
gonna be
see.
big
I,
on it.
I think 7 is overrated. So people are like, ooh, no. I think 7 is overrated. I would say no, but
Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
well,
a lot of
I-
people,
when
a
I
lot
was
of
talking
people,
about-
a lot of people will say, yeah, but you need to play the original.
Let's put it on Jang's terms then. Let's say that they remade Final Fantasy VI and they did these small things like that Jang would
Play the original first. Play the original first before you fucking play the remastered. Play the original
There you
first.
So you gotta play the original first. Or you heard it here on Jang's side.
No, 7 is overrated, so you don't have to play it. So that.
That's because you hate the game, but I'm saying like if it's a game you love, like obviously these hardcore guys are gonna love it. They're gonna say we replay their.
I mean,
but
like
I
if
don't
they
think so,
remade
man. Just
KOTOR
look it up.
and they dropped the original thing, like references, and Kurosh would
all
say
I
the
know
same.
is I don't
Kurosh
remember-
would say the same thing.
I-
Like play the original first.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if I would say play it first. I would definitely say to play it or to explore it in some way, well, however you're comfortable. Like watch a person's.
All I know is I don't remember Jesse being this thirsty for Cloud, dude.
Dude, fucking everyone is thirsty for Cloud in this game. Everyone, even this dancer guy. Like earlier, where he dresses him up, like the dance scene was like, holy, what's going on here? I'm confused.
That dancer guy didn't exist, I think, in the first.
No,
one.
he does.
He does.
I saw people like showing a screenshot of the. I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, maybe he wasn't so. I don't know.
He was more pixelated.
I don't think he was so. I can't think of the word I'm trying to
Less
say.
triangles. But when it ended, it felt like the end of like a Lord of the Rings 1 or one of those where it's like, all right, we've reached a point. But from what I'm hearing, so
wait. This is gonna be kind of spoilerish. That when it ends, are you like at the
Yeah.
edge of Midgar and you're about to go outside? Does that how it ends?
Just yes or no.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's kind of complicated.
Okay.
So when I talked to
maybe.
my other friend who beat it, he's like, they're making nods to things
Yeah.
they're indicating that they are diverting from the original, and it could be
Oh.
a very, very different story in this one, while
Right.
still acknowledging
Okay.
things that happened in the original. So that has me intrigued, and I'm very like to answer your original question, where you're like, are you gonna still play whatever parts later and pay? I want to play when they come out. I want to play them. I think like.
Oh.
I'm curious with what it is, and if the combat is anything like what it was, and they just expand on it,
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm really down, because like when you do a summon, it's fucking epic. Like,
Oh
like,
man.
I got a fat
Wait till
chocobo,
wait
and
till
that
you see.
fucker is
No. Wait till you see Knights of the Round.
So
That fucking
you could-
summon?
You could get Behemoth in this one, by the way.
Oh.
But that one requires you, I think, to kill or fight all the virtual summons.
Oh,
No. Wait
Oh,
till
no,
wait
maybe-
till you see Knights of the
It might be
Round.
hard mode.
Knights of the Round.
King Arthur and his fucking knights, all 12 of them. Dude, that game is easy mode with that
that's
material.
That's the most OP material, but it's also pretty fucking ridiculous to get.
Wait, so this is a summon you're talking about?
hmm
This is a summon, but
King-
this
So
is also
summons-
gotten like towards the end of the
King
game.
Arthur and his fucking knights, dude.
Okay, I have a question. In the original game, how did summons work?
They were so the way the game worked in general is this fighting wasn't like free mode like this, so it was timed. So like as soon as like your bar filled up, you could do the next attack, and so it would do a summon that would just cast one ability, and then it would go away, and then you would go back into the regular mode again.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
like one. It's like one attack, and
Yeah, one attack. In this one, when you summon, the summon stays, and it like for a
For a
longer
time frame.
and summon
And
is it's a materia, right?
No, it is.
It is.
But
Yeah.
it's
like a
slotted.
free
It's
slot.
slotted in the summon slot,
Oh,
where
okay,
every
okay.
character can have a summon slot.
In
and
the
so-
original, the summon would take up a slot like a regular materia. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you would have to lose one like that. But they give you a free slot every time for every character for a summon.
Okay.
that can't be taken up by anything else.
I just like the combat makes me want more like like I said, KOTOR. I just
Yeah.
thought like, do you remember the old Xbox and PlayStation Lord of the Rings games?
Mm-hmm.
I would want those games in this style as well. Like I'd want all these like old games I used to play in this combat
I would
style.
think. I mean, it's very similar to the way what the Outcast or what's the most recent Zelda the Star Wars game that came out
Fallen Order.
Jedi.
Oh,
Fallen Order.
no,
Sorry,
Fallen Order?
that one.
No,
I would like that type of style. Like
no,
it-
I'm talking
very
about
cool.
the mix of like playing freely, but then freezing, selecting abilities.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like that combination for me is
You like
is what
can you
reminds
do
me.
first push or first pull and shit during the middle of combat.
Well, like it reminds me of KOTOR. Like you would be able
Mm-hmm.
to do, you would freeze the game, you would pick everyone's moves, and then you would
Like let it
say,
go.
okay, unpause, and then like
Yeah.
they would go, and then you could interrupt at any point and do it on the fly if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And like this kind of does it in a more fluid way, where it isn't like you pick everyone's, you pick one person's, which is kind of like I wish I could be like, all right, pick Clouds, pick Tifa's, and pick Barrett's, and
Yeah.
then go. But it makes me pick Clouds, and then it just goes, and then I have to go to Tifa, pause it,
Yeah.
pick, and go. That part can get a hard when you're trying to coordinate stuff, but yeah, it was cinematic in those last parts. Like it felt like crazy, but like there was some padding still. Like
Mm.
I didn't need a lot of the stuff they threw at me, and they actually threw a few curveballs. Like I know we've talked about like this is something you guys know of, like involving Aerith.
Yeah.
Like key moment. They kind of had a moment that made me felt like they were. I knew that they were story in some ways. Like I kept seeing people saying like, oh, they changed some stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a part where I was like, oh shit, are they gonna like? It felt like they were throwing a curveball my way, and it was kind of like refreshing with that aspect of it.
Nice.
But yeah, how many parts? I'm being the only one that's never played the other ones. To answer your other question, yes, they are at that point that you were saying. To put it in as simple ways I can think of, Jang, where you're like, where are they?
They're
Oh, okay,
outside.
okay.
I think so. Like it's kind of confusing. And
How
I
many
don't know-
how many parts do you think the game is gonna be?
Well, how far into the game is that?
Fuck.
So that's disc 1 out of
Yeah. That is disc 1.
Is disc
it
one
seems
bigger
like-
or smaller than disc 2? Like are they
Well,
equal?
so there's the disc 1 where this is like the beefy part, like because there's a lot of like that. It's that whole town and they're doing everything there. And disc 2 it opens up to where you got like it becomes like those RPGs where you see the little sprite running on a giant ass map. It becomes like that. So you're traveling to a different town. You do that open map view with your little sprite running through town, but in the middle of you running, you can initiate a fight and it'll be a random encounter with an enemy
So-
or whatever.
The amount of time you spend in Midgar, how many other places, destinations do you visit in? Like, is it more than 2?
I don't think you spend anywhere else near the amount of time this one does, but you do spend like maybe. So let's say this was 45 hours. You probably there's one more spot that you'll spend maybe 20 hours in comparison. But I don't know what the actual amount of time was.
So it's
in
just
that.
one other spot. There's not a bunch of. I thought it was like 3 or 4 other.
Well,
Places.
yeah, but they're not anywhere. They're gonna be like in increments of like 15 to 20 hours.
I mean, we don't
compared
know
to what this one is. Exactly. So I don't know what's gonna be different. But if I compare to this one being like the biggest amount of time you spent in the game in the original, the other ones would be like half that amount essentially of time you spend in those sections.
Then I'm gonna So taking that into consideration, but also taking into consideration that they're altering some things, I'm gonna say there's gonna be 3 discs.
A total. So
Because
this one's 1, and then
This
2
is
more?
1
Okay.
and 2 more, I think.
I agree. That
because
sounds
of, because of the factors, and then also because 3 sells really well. I feel like they never, you hardly see like 1 and 2, like part 1,
Yeah.
part 2. You always see like part 1, part 2, and then part 3 is like the epic finale, and like
The thing is with how big this game is, like how crazy they made this one specific spot, this town. I don't know how they're gonna do the open world because the open world isn't gonna be like the original game was. So
it's
that's
for
gonna
the
take up a lot of space.
the Unreal 5 engine, dude. That's how they're gonna do it.
Shit.
I can only
Triangles.
imagine them doing like essentially what we saw with Kojima with Death Stranding. Like that would be the style of open world map movement to a new town type of thing that I would see. Like that's the only thing I can think of because that's how the game does it. But it does it obviously in like a very old school RPG way where you just see the giant ass sprite moving in the on the static map town.
All I'm saying
appreciate,
is, see you in 10 years, dude. That game is.
Dude,
I'm waiting for the definitive edition, dude. See you in 10 years, dude.
So what it's gonna be is it's gonna be 1. They're gonna announce 2, and show 2 whenever that is. Let's say 3.
Like I said, I can't justify paying like 180 for this game.
Well, see, by that point, this one's gonna be like.
You know, the thing is though, as I don't see it as paying 180 for one game. Like Kurosh said, he spent 45 hours on this one game. That's definitely worth $60. Like anything over 30.
That's crazy
hours.
because like, I'm like old school, so I consider like an RPG, JRPG should be minimum 60 hours.
It's true. I mean, it's true, but
It's also interesting what
forward,
like
I can't stay behind.
What like genres can set your expectations to how much you're wanting to spend. Like if you're playing a battle royale, you're dropping battle pass money like periodically, and it could amount to more than a $60 JRPG. But because of this format, like your perspective on it, you might make like it's okay.
Yeah.
But you might sink in as many hours, if not more.
Or The Last of Us, 15 hours and $60.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think if it's as long as this game was and it had as much of a hook, I think, as it did, despite its gripes, I will say the other thing that I gripe about, the lighting. When you're changing from a very bright area to a very, like, if you're going from outdoors to indoors, it takes like a good 5 seconds before the game adjusts. I'm blind. Like, I can't see anything in the game.
It's real life, dude.
You know what's tripping me out is, did you ever play it, Jing? Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So
why would I say
I
it's
completely
trash
forgot, dude. We have Gold Saucer.
Yeah.
Like that alone, like they could make the way this is in that one section, dude. I don't even know how they're gonna fucking do it.
Even to this day, like when you're open world airship, I think that looks sick in the old school Final Fantasy VII. So seeing it in the new one is gonna be sick, dude. Airship.
That's gonna be
okay.
Now,
I'm gonna have to download the original one.
So Gold Saucer is essentially like Las Vegas. It's a casino, like gambling zone, but it's supposed to be fucking huge. Like it is like it's just huge, and it's in the middle of the fucking desert too.
I just see them doing. They're gonna do the second part, and then when they do the second part, then that's gonna be huge, and then when they announce the third part, they're gonna release 1 and 2 in the definitive PS5 edition.
Yeah.
And then they're going to release 3, and then they're going to release the collected edition.
God damn it. You're calling all this out right now, dude. It's going to become true.
This is Final Fantasy VII, part 10-2. But my friend, I was talking to him, he's like, the Final Fantasy series from, like, I guess 13 or so on, at least what he was saying.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things that they don't explain. Like, all of a sudden stuff happens at the end that it just shows you, and a lot of people don't understand. And then it just keeps moving on.
Huh.
And I was like, is that a trend that the game started having? Like, they have deeper stuff that you're supposed to dig into? But
I wonder if it has to do with, like, if you live in, like, these Final Fantasy, like... Because obviously, like, it's not all games are not similar, but there are, like, throwbacks. Like, every Final Fantasy has chocobos. Every fucking Final Fantasy game has chocobos. You know, like, that's just a thing. Like, every Final Fantasy has moggles or moogles or however you want to pronounce it. Like that's just a given. So, maybe that's just like they feel like it, if you've played other games before, kind of what this is or what the setup is or something, and they're kind of doing it like that. But I have caught that in Final Fantasy X they did something like that, which kind of threw me off. But then I was able to figure it out later on.
I have another question. So, and by the way, this has become my impromptu topic. I'm just going to replace what my other topic is. I could just save it for another week.
Shit.
So in the past games, how many by let's say like 75% of the game, how big is your party?
It
So
depends, dude.
in the original, dude, so we have Aerith, Barrett, Cloud, Tifa. We would have Red X. We would have there's a secret character you can get. There's Cat Sith.
Vincent Valentine.
There's Sid. Vincent Valentine's the secret character, or like not secret, but like it's a really hard way to get him, and you have to be very precise in the game. There's Sid, who's the guy who controls the airship. That's 8 already. Oh, there's the chick from Wutai. What's her name? That's fucking 9 right there.
Okay, so are
Yuffie?
you playing with these 9 at the same time?
You can switch them out. Like when you go to like a home base, you can choose the 3 to keep in your party essentially. So yeah, and
So-
you
Final
can
Fantasy
leave
6.
some like
Final
low
Fantasy.
level.
Final Fantasy 6 has 14.
Oh damn. Okay. And you
This one
do
might
the
have
same
more.
thing in Final Fantasy 6 where it's like you swap them out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 4 at a time.
That's usually how JRPGs are. Like you get a large group and you
Yeah.
mix and match depending on the battle you need.
Well, that was something I had I thought there was a lot more characters that are going to be like a part of your group later in this game, but like not in this one, not in part
Yeah.
1. But the way this game kind of handles it is through the way the story is being told. You only have 2 of them or 3 of them with you at a time because the 4th one is doing something or
Yeah.
party gets split because of something, and I'm like, okay, but I'm wondering how like that's going to take a lot of careful. Like, are they going to stick to that when it's more, or are you going to start choosing? Like,
Yeah, because the way
I'm
that
curious how they're gonna-
story is, it doesn't let you have or let you try to choose. So it just gives you like here's 3 or here's
'Cause
a
it
few people, and you
it
don't. max
feels
them.
like
Dude,
feels
there's
like
a
those cutscenes are very like tailor made.
there's a really cool like scene from Chrono Trigger. I don't want to spoil it, but the main character you can't pick, and the way they fucking do it is so good, dude. I was like, damn.
Would
it.
you? Okay, speaking of Chrono Trigger, would you like if that game got like a
Oh yeah, definitely.
like on this level?
Because I feel so Chrono Trigger. The main problem I have with it, the story, the plot is very catered towards kids, so they don't like touch upon things as deep as they should. So like, there's a bad guy in the game. You go back in time and see him as a kid, and it kind of like references, oh, we should do something about it, but they don't talk about killing him. But it's like kind of nudged, and I'm like, damn, just explore it a little more, dude. Just make it a little more deeper, dude.
So should you
It's
try
like,
to go,
fuck.
Hitler, you know, as a child.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, and they don't really, they don't even talk about killing him. They just said, should we do something about this? And they just bounce, and I'm just like, fuck. Damn it.
You want to delve more?
Yes, because it's catered toward kids, so they can't.
Yeah, this is. We've had this topic before, but Jang's willing to change the story of a remake rather than keep it the original.
Well, that's what this. I feel like if like another question I was gonna have is if this game. I need to dig more into what the changes were and what they imply because I don't fully understand them.
Right.
I'm just going off what my friend was saying. He's like, this might change the rest of them. I'm like, at that point, is it even a remake? Like, why is it called Final Fantasy VII Remake? I feel like it's like Final Fantasy VII version 2 or like.
So a lot of it's the same. Like from what I've seen, I can't really differentiate where they kind of went off
it's a
course
lot-
yet.
Okay.
You know,
I feel like the last 2 chapters are where it happens.
it just gets weird. But so maybe in like the next games that come out, they won't no longer be a remake. It'll be like Final Fantasy VII. -2 or something. I don't know.
I think it's more like Daredevil, the TV show. You know, they kind of veer a little bit. It's kind of similar, but they veer a lot of story plot points to a different.
It could be. I don't know if they'll keep it, but I'm curious as to what Kurosh is saying, where he says like it's different, so I can't really answer the question of are they outside Midgard kind of thing. So I need to play the game and find out. But will I? We'll find out on next episode.
Wild Vargas, we need him. We need him.
Yeah, it's definitely. I love the weapons, like all the different ones you get. They have certain play styles. Like one of Cloud's swords is like super heavy magic based. Another one is like all strength based. Some of them have like 8 slots. When you
I think
upgrade
they
them.
had that in the original, but it wasn't like. I guess it was more stat based. I mean, it was like it had more like I guess you would consider like int, and you would be like, this is the magic.
I like how
the mithril saber.
No, I like how Final Fantasy VII, the Buster Sword is like, oh shit, it's really cool, but in reality, it fucking sucks, dude. It's
so
cool looking,
That
but
was I agree with that. So I was thinking that like by the during the game I would be using all these other swords, but there would be like a final upgrade to the Buster sword that would make it come back, and it never did. I was using this like really weird other sword at the very end of the game. I'm like, it's just better.
Yeah.
But
We're using the twin blade one or whatever.
it looks like it's called like I don't know. It's like it's two blades. So
Yeah. I think that's the only one. That's what I'm like trying to get right now.
Wait, so I'm
It's-
gonna throw
Oh,
the
no, I missed it actually.
I'm gonna throw the question to
It's
Vargas, dude. Are you gonna pick up the other two games?
It depends on how this ends. Like if the way it is right now for me, the way I feel about the game up to the point that I've played it, I'm willing to wait. I will eventually play the game in its entirety maybe when it all comes out. But if my curiosity is kind of piqued with what Kurosh was saying, so if it does that, I might end up like not being able to wait, and I'll pick it up as soon as it comes out again, just to continue the story. So yeah.
It's weird, man. The music's good, like, but there's just so many things that are confusing. There's so many things.
I feel like I need to finish it just to like help you out, like explain to you what you've seen.
Maybe this will be my topic next week again. Unanswered questions.
But like just to say about the character selection, it's not this robust at this beginning of the game, or like the way it is right now. It's kind of the way it was in the other one. Like once you leave Midgard is when you start meeting these new people to start joining your party. So that's where the second game or the second disc would be part of having more party members. But in this first one, you never really were able to choose who you had. It was just always like, hey, this person's busy. You only have two. Hey, you know, this fourth person that you could technically use is busy. So you have just the 3 max people you can have right now, kind of thing. So
Were there like floating ghosts in the original?
no, that one is for sure different.
Okay,
I don't remember there being. Yeah.
That I think plays a big part.
Yeah,
in
they
some of
do. So they do something similar, like the way they talk about Aerith being able to like talk to the earth or kind of thing. That's been there, and she supposedly might have been able to see things, but it never shows it physically the way this game does. Like it's just her own thing. But there's that whole beginning scene where like it does the Midgard, like when you start the game, it does the whole Midgard walking through and stuff like that. When you get to that point with Cloud, you see like Aerith like swatting stuff out of the air. That never happened. Like she never really like acted paranoid. Like
I know
that.
one of the biggest things that's from the game is how they say Mako. Mako?
Oh yeah, Mako.
I
I wonder if
always
it's an English translation thing.
I always said it as Mako. When I was reading it, I was like Mako.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing too when it came out. People were like, Mako? What the Mako?
Yeah. Yeah. God, it's so weird.
But yeah, I'm gonna need to finish that.
So that was your first Final Fantasy. So
Yeah.
Is it
what
really?
a-
I know it's gonna be tough because
It's hard to judge-
play, but I recommend 10, dude.
yeah, 10's a fucking good one, dude.
See I'm interested, but I'm trying to differentiate what I liked about this game and what I didn't. And a big part of what I liked was the combat. And I'm like, I feel like, is that a new thing, the way this combat is?
Yeah, that combat
they-
is fucking.
They did something similar in 12, but it wasn't.
Isn't that the
It's not-
MMORPG? Or is
No,
that
no, no.
14?
That's 14. Well, that's 11 and 14. But there's in 12. It's one that I've bought and I touched like maybe for less than an hour. But the combat is very similar to this one, where like when you select someone, it shows like a line like flying over, kind of like in Final Fantasy 14, the one with Noctis or whatever. It shows that, and it's the it's weird. I think you're still able to move while you're doing these selections and stuff, so I think it's very similar in that sense, but
So
I can't remember very well.
remember on Twitter we went like back and forth about like Final Fantasy 6, Tifa, the fighting thing, and then
Yeah.
one of my
No.
viewers chimed in. He's like, "No, Vivi," but I was kind of confused because Vivi's not a fighter. He's like a black magician. People have said 9 is like fucking good. I've never played 9, dude. Like, and-
Vivi is the short white tall. Yeah, there you go.
no, he's like, he's not.
No, oh
white.
sorry, it's short, but it has the yellow tall hat is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Sakaguchi, the founder of Final Fantasy. When I went to Anime Expo to see him, he said that's his favorite Final Fantasy, and I was like,
Oh,
dude, I gotta
shit.
fucking play this. And
Now I gotta play it.
I've never played it, dude. I've never fucking played it.
I have it on my Switch, and I've played.
I feel
a tad
like
bit of it.
you can't really judge like the Final Fantasies unless you played 4, 6, 7, 9,
9
10. Yeah. I mean, 8 is good, but I heard 8 has the best story, but dude, that combat is killer, dude. That is the worst combat system in the fucking world, dude. That's the I don't know why they made that, dude.
Do they all have random encounters?
Yes, that's kind of like a stipulation of just JRPGs
Yes.
in general.
But I know
It's how you level.
I don't remember if 10 has an item where you don't encounter him, but I know 6 has an item where you don't encounter him.
So it's like repel essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's a forever repel, yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! Oh, you have to have it equipped.
I don't-
Yeah, equipped.
Between this game, I think even Persona 5, like you can choose to walk around like random encounter characters, and Pokemon the Sword and Shield, where you can like walk around the Pokemon in the wild and not have to. I'm like, this is spoiling me. It's making it harder to go back and play older JRPGs.
And see, that's the one reason why I like Chrono Trigger, because there are no random encounters in Chrono. You can see the enemy, so you can choose to battle them or you can just walk
Yeah.
around them. Like I think
that's a big early like they were a trendsetter in that, like of knowing
I
where.
feel like with Final Fantasy Remake, a true like throwback would have been like the parts where you run in between areas, like from one town. It would just be like you're running, and all of a sudden it's like, and like you just start attacking. Someone starts attacking you.
Well-
But instead, in this one, you see the creatures, and you can try to escape from them or whatever, or you can just battle them.
Yeah, I mean it sort of still does have random encounters in the sense that you're not roaming freely, but you're going through a tunnel and there's like
Yeah.
a bunch of monsters in that part, and you can't run past them.
They do make it harder to level. So normally, like what I would do is I would stay in one area and I would kill a bunch of monsters through random encounters to get a higher level to make the rest of the game easier. They make this one hard because I tried doing that and I was just in a one spot running in a circle, getting like the 3 that fucking kept respawning or whatever in the town when you're supposed to kill the monsters that like go through the gate or whatever.
When you do the challenges, that you can get extra levels out of those, and there's like
Oh, okay.
two main areas. I think you've been to one of them, where the dancing is,
Yes, yeah.
the arena, like all the
Yeah.
challenges that has. You can get
There's a second one.
no, there's not a second arena, but there's a virtual reality.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
No, not the one that you've done. There's a new one
Oh shit. Okay.
that has challenges in it after you do it, because you use that new one for a story element. And then he's like, "Hey, come back if you want some extra items and XP."
Oh okay.
So that I think those are 2 areas. But so I was looking at the new game plus in the hard mode, and the things that they said, they were like saying XP and gil and the points you get towards upgrading your weapons all are doubled in hard mode.
Oh okay.
In hard mode combat, you can use all of your abilities. You cannot use healing items.
I knew that. Like you can't. So you have to like be able to
Heal each other.
through ability. Yeah.
And I think yeah. So there was that, and then there was. I think those are the main, and then there was chapter select, so you can jump around whatever chapters, do whichever ones. So I was like, oh, it's pretty good. Like I have like most of my stuff almost upgraded, so I'm like, God, I kind of want to upgrade them, but I'm like, I was like trying to beat this game to finish it and be like, I beat a Final Fantasy game, and to also I want to move on to some other games right now, like
Valorant.
Well, no, like between Valorant, Animal Crossing, and then this game, I was like, this is the only one that like has an end, and I want it to end because I want some games that I can like complete.
Yeah.
So like right now, I want to play the next games I want to play. I want to keep writing this JRPG, so I want to play Persona 5 Royale.
Ooh.
And then they had for like 75% off. They had BattleTech, which is a tactics style mech game. So on PC, I might try to play a little bit of that because I've been weaning off Valorant as well. I like we were saying, I play like a couple of rounds now, but I still like playing. But I'll just play like 1 or 2 rounds and
Yeah.
call it a night. But yeah, I wanted to like try to jump through some of these like stories and single player experiences. So that's my topic.
Which we gotta choose the title now.
It's fine.
Freestyle.
That's funny.
Random encounter topic.
Shit. Oh, pretty much. There you go. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So speaking of Valorant.
So mine is with So what should Riot do with Valorant after it's done its beta? Like, should it? Which is something that we were talking about yesterday, or the last topic, right? Or last podcast, right? Where we just started going off on a tangent with it.
Let me check. I remember we talked about that. I think it was about. Fuck, how did we get to it? Because, we were talking about our backlog and new experiences and stuff, and then while we were talking about Valorant and that being a different game for like a couple of us, Jang brought up the whole what should Valorant do, and then we're like, ooh, that's a good topic.
Yeah. So like with a lot of there's betas that like the game continues and then like just slowly turns into a full game. And it just stays, available the whole time. Or there's ones where like they close the beta down, they do some changes on the game, and then like months later it gets released as a full game. What do you guys think Riot should do with Valorant after this closed beta?
So I have a question.
Yes.
Is Fortnite still in beta?
I
So
think
that's
so.
the thing. I don't think I don't know.
I think it is.
Really?
I don't think so. Because I think
honestly
there's certain
wasn't
things
sure.
they can't do if it's still considered closed beta.
Well,
Or
the
like
reason-
not
the
closed
reason-
beta.
The reason I thought it was because when they did that whole Unreal Jeff Keighley thing, they said Fortnite will be a launch title for the PS5, whatever. And I was like,
That's
wait,
funny.
launch title? What the fuck?
Maybe that's the
It's out.
joke.
How? Like, what does that even mean? And like every website was like, Fortnite will be launch title, and then they later clarified that it's going to be updated to the new Unreal Engine in some way. I don't know.
Well, I guess they use the term launch title as like it's gonna come out with the system as the system comes out. Essentially, it'll come out like it'll be one of the first games available for it.
Okay.
I think is what they meant. But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying,
I
like-
was thinking in the way of like it's a new game, and I'm like, wait, has it still been in beta? So that's why I was wanting to bring it up, because if that's how it is, Valorant can just stay in beta for fucking ever.
and then I think my personal opinion is I think Valorant does need a hard stop to this beta. Like it's obviously a beta because like the way people are getting in, you have to watch the stream, you have to do that, and if it just stays that way, I don't think it'll ever reach like a top maximum player count that they were looking for. They have to like stop it and then reassess everything and then bring it back out like, hey, full game available to everyone, enjoy the game, guys, kind of thing. That's what I think. But I think if it just stays the way, because Fortnite was always or not always, but like the whatchamacallit, the way the game plays now, the battle royale, that was an open beta, and it just kind of like slowly transitioned to a full game. But this is known as a closed beta, so I don't think they could do it that way for this one specifically. People won't know it's like available now, kind of thing.
Yeah, Jang, what do you think?
Whew, this is a tough one because you want momentum, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like they should keep it open. I know it, or I do agree with Vargas actually. Have it close for a certain amount of time because you want that what is it called? The scarcity?
Hype?
Or yeah, the
Oh,
hype,
yeah.
the hype. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do, if you want it, yeah. You got to close it, but you can't. That's the hard part. There's a soft spot of reopening it. So you got to reopen it at the right time. But
Or
see,
you could do like a big event, like how Fortnite's been doing it, like as like a hey, we're open, but we're gonna have limited time, like when you play the game for within the next month.
Like I don't know, man. I don't know how they could get me back. Like I mean, I'll only play it when like friends play it, but man, I don't know, man. Like I think it's because of my play style. Like I rather play solo than with teams. And
Yeah. I
just
noticed
like-
what I don't support well when you and I go the same lane. I'm like, I think you're doing your thing, and I'm like, I end up like fumbling, and I'm like, I gotta like, you go one way, I'll cover another angle of that same thing or support the other way, because I'm not able to help. But I definitely agree with you that it is infinitely better when I'm playing with, like, my experiences with randos are so up and down. It's insane. Like I had a really good game where it was like a guy, I think he was a streamer, and everyone was kind of like friendly, kind of goof around.
It-
But the game before that was just dog shit.
It's kind of crazy, dude. Whenever I play ranked, I'm the best person in the team, and that's not right. Like, it's bad. That's a bad thing.
You know, with them opening up like closed beta rank, I don't think they plan on like canceling or like closing this beta anytime soon. Like, it's gonna be a long time.
Well, I saw they've been doing like they did a big patch update on some information about their the peaking advantage. They were saying because of
Oh my
the way
god.
lag works, they were talking about peaker's advantage, where if lag is high enough and you peak, like the delay of the game for the
Other
server
person.
to show the
Yeah.
other person watching that angle will have a delay. And they're like, that's always existed. It's just minimizing that. And so I think fine tuning all this stuff in both. The competitive was more like, let's give the hardcore fans something to strive for while it's in closed beta. But my thought is they should keep the beta. They need to have an event of some kind. I feel like this
Yes.
quarantine thing kind of dampened that momentum because they might have already had a plan of like doing something in the summer, at the end of summer or during summer. But I think they should at some point do like an online tournament amongst like the top rank, like after a little, maybe another week or two, or maybe they give a heads up of like 3 weeks from now, we're gonna have this tournament. Top ranked players will be selected and teams will be made or whatever.
Yeah.
And they hold this tournament. It should be showcased. It should be like maybe if like you chime in or something. If you do something alongside it or watch it or something, everyone that's playing the game gets a drop of skin or something. To be like, I attended this event or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people would watch the stream for drops, and then at the end of that tournament, they should be like, by the way, we're going open beta next week.
They need to do a battle pass type of thing, like where you get skins. They need something like. They need to do a battle pass like Fortnite.
Well, I feel like the battle pass should be like something they like when you're talking about the momentum. If they get the open beta at that point and everyone's just playing it, because it's still like when I'm looking at Twitch right now, it's still top 3.
Yeah.
So it's got that momentum going. The tournament thing I think will be a big push, and then the open beta will be a big push, and then maybe when that like mid waning of that they start saying it, but hey, we're ready now to like start giving you more incentives to play. Like aside from like those quests and this stuff in game, here's some guaranteed stuff you can get. Because like I think Fortnite and Apex does a good like the video packages they do for like new seasons.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like Apex does a good video package of like what you're getting. Like it's very clear with what you're gonna get for a season. I feel like Valorant could do something like that, where they like are very clear with like what a season is gonna offer, and make those clearly defined things. I agree. I think a season pass or battle pass or whatever would be a good idea. But I would agree. I would say it should be after open beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think, yeah, just having more of the game modes and shit like that, like, smaller.
They should have.
Yeah, the game modes. That would
They should
be-
have. I know this is unpopular. They should have a free for all or something, but without abilities or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Ooh,
I mean,
like-
I can go with the game modes where it's like
Hardcore mode, and then you get no abilities. It's just
Fuck, dude. One bullet kills you, or one bullet mode. You got the default pistol with one bullet, and then you got a knife afterwards.
like gun game, dude, where every time you kill someone with a weapon.
Yeah,
slap
they should do gun game.
that'd be cool. That'd be fun. I feel like because Overwatch does this with like events, but I feel like
Yeah.
they could do it with this with like each week. And I mean Destiny does this too. They'll have their standard PvP modes, and then they'll throw in like a different mode on rotation. They should like every week or bi-weekly change what that other mode is. Like gun. What were you guys saying?
Gun game.
Gun game or whatever other modes they want to be like. All right, this week or these next 2 weeks, this is the bonus mode.
That's funny because that's I mean I think that's something Fortnite already does similarly.
Yeah, they
have
do it
different
too.
Modes every week it changes up on them, and they get like 3 or 4 different modes.
Or tied to like a sponsor, like the Thanos thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
yeah,
else
yeah.
They'll do a different mode or something. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, but I think on full open they should just have like every mode. Well, maybe not every mode available, but like change it up and add some modes. Add a fucking match mode that is only like best out of 5. You know, don't go fucking 13, please, dear
Yeah.
God.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be cool. I think they should also definitely consider, because they addressed it a little bit in the latest like notes,
Mm-hmm.
that people that want to play, like, they were saying something about like ranked and how you apparently, I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but they were saying something like when you should there be solo queue, or should people that playing groups be allowed to play in ranked together? And there was like they were trying to address, be like, okay, listen, we don't want to discourage people from playing together because this whole game is about coordination and working together, but we also recognize that a person playing like solo queue and ranked is playing at maybe a disadvantage against a group of 6 or 5.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's definitely.
So I think there's conversations and to be had about what to do about those two groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
To maybe figure something out. So that'd be cool if they address it in some way. But
Just, I guess have a queue to go in like.
like
choosing-
Destiny, yeah, Destiny has that where it's like you can do group competitive or you can do
Yeah.
solo competitive, and it's a night and day experience for me of how good or bad it is when I go between the two.
Yeah.
But like when we're talking about seasons, at that point, like when I'm looking at like Fortnite and Destiny and all these ongoing like shooter games, each season has patch notes and stuff. So what's the point? What's a release even mean at that point?
What is it's a release?
Like,
means a
what does it
patch
mean?
that says, "Hey, we're live."
Like what does that mean? Like if it's open, does that mean it's released? Because if every season they're changing it, it doesn't matter. Like there's no like finite like this is now
Yeah.
launched.
I
Like,
mean, the way it is right now, they could honestly, because they did a patch with that added ranked to a closed beta, which is insane to me. You don't normally like do that. I mean, but I guess they're trying to just add more content so people continue watching.
I mean,
But
oh no, go ahead.
like I guess what they'll do is they'll have literally a patch that says like, hey, you know, we've gone from closed beta now to open beta. Anyone can download this game. They don't have to have watched this, you know, the stream for whatever amount of time. And then eventually they'll just have a patch note that just says, hey, we're live, essentially. I don't know.
yeah, I just like the definition of a game, like when you there's no beta for Final Fantasy, and then Final Fantasy's open beta or it's out. Like you know when it's released, like it's the
Yeah.
game is out, it's finished, it's a complete game. But like with the Destinies and with the Valorants and the Fortnites, it's just like each season's it's just gonna keep changing. And I don't know, just the idea of like it's released means something. Beta versus release just is an ongoing conversation of like what that even means.
I think it is. It becomes a weird term when it comes to games that are like constantly being updated. Because usually, you know, like when we have like a Final Fantasy remake, like that, you if you have a beta, it's going to be like a portion of the game. When the game's fully released, you have to buy the game to have the full game. You know, you see the difference there. But this is gonna be a free game for everyone, and there's no real like, hey, you know, we're officially open unless they actually make something like that. They could just patch it to make it an open game at that point.
Yeah, I guess. It's,
But yeah,
I mean, it's also these games are free to play, so it's like you're not gonna see like boxes. Like I think like at the tail, like way later, you'll start seeing boxes of these games and even GameStop or anything. But those are just gonna be for like V-Bucks or whatever credit. So I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I hope they maintain their momentum or do something with it. Like they definitely have it. They should do something with it.
This is kind of like on a side topic, but they should have released a fighting game for like before Evo. And it's like an open invitation.
Ooh.
You can be in
Yeah.
Evo, but I mean, they didn't want to steal Valorant shine, I guess. But.
Maybe. Did you guys see the news about like now that it's online, Smash is taken out of Evo?
Dude, Skullgirls.
Skullgirls is out too.
No, Skullgirls is in.
Oh yeah, dude.
Is Smash
there's
out
the-
because the online connectivity sucks ass?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Got it.
That's like the part that cracks me up. It's like one of the most diehard like fan bases.
Yeah, but when you play online, there's
then all of a
no
sudden-
way to play it competitively. It's just
Hey,
doesn't
those.
exist.
Hey, I'm saying Smash players need social distancing, dude. To smell, dude. Yeah.
They need deodorant with the social distance.
He who showers.
He who never showers.
Oh, he who never.
God damn it.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, damn, that was crazy. Yeah, I would be curious to see if maybe next year's Evo Riot is there with their fighting game.
You picking up a King of Fighters 98, dude?
Maybe.
Damn.
I don't know. Dude, those things are expensive.
Yeah.
It's just so it's not gonna come out on the Play Store. It's literally only a physical copy you can get to replay it like that.
No, I think it comes out digitally.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it does.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Anything else with the talk? Okay. Yeah, I think we all said our piece about Valorant.
Valorant.
What if they announced a fighting game? It's released today. At Evo.
Like Paper Mario, dude?
Riot
Fucking
Games?
come on,
Damn,
I don't know.
Jeff Keighley.
I mean, it'd be cool to have a what is it called? Like a crowning experience at an event like that. Like, hey, try our game out here, and then like the next day becomes available like a beta, for everybody.
That's
try,
what
like, 4 or 5 deck characters.
that spot's already taken by Marvel vs. Capcom.
Damn.
They gotta do that. If they're gonna do it with any game, it's gotta be that one.
Are they gonna announce it and just reveal
Capcom
it?
Infinity.
Stones.
I want it to be a reality. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, where can people?
They can find me on World of Warcraft at the Fulio, and then Instagram and I don't know where else. Instagram is the Fulio
And
365. Everywhere else is the Fulio.
At the last bosses everywhere.
You can find me at Cujo Prime in Midgar, or maybe outside of Midgar. It's complicated. And you can find us all at the weekly DLC, and in our little village islands that we need to clean the shit out of. 'Cause they're fucking
Shit.
It is a mess. Like, it's horrible. It's like a
Public
it's
public
organized
storage?
mess.
whoosh whoosh.
I could store some stuff, dude, for a fee.
I should just have storage lots.
Shit.
But yeah, until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.